Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Public Service Commission hosted a meeting last night about a potential price hike for Kentucky Power. And this Saturday, there will be a trivia night in downtown Hazard.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on November 10th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast and this morning. And Brandon, I said this just a little bit earlier, we are seeing that rain right now, but I just don't know if it'll be enough to really solve the problem with the wildfires outside.
No, I don't think it's going to be even anywhere close. We're seeing some heavier bands, Olivia, but I tell you, it's just not heavy enough. We needed a good soaking rain to put these fires out and help saturate the ground. I'm afraid once we clear out and that wind picks up, most of the time wind picks up a little bit behind the front, it's going to be a bad situation all over again. So we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on it and keep our fingers crossed there. But some rain falling across parts of the Big Sandy this morning into parts of Floyd and Knott and over toward Pike counties and Letcher County a little bit too, southern Perry County, and then back into central Kentucky. But here in the next few hours, that's going to move out. Somerset, a little bit of rain still falling down there. You can see it, some of those headlights, but it's light rain this morning. It's not anything too heavy out there. We needed some heavy soaking rain. Those temperatures did drop, though, as forecast, into the 40s and eventually into the 50s. I knew Grundy would go down at some point. 51 over there now, 50 in Harlan, and 52 in Jacksboro. Everybody else in the 40s this morning. We will rebound just a little bit later on, though, today as we get back up into the 50-degree range a little bit later on this afternoon once that skies start to clear a little bit and some late-day sunshine a possibility. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon. A man was arrested for an active warrant Tuesday in Knox County, which led to deputies finding multiple drugs in his car. Officials say John Carr, 54, was in the parking lot of a business known to be a drug trafficking area. After being asked for identification, officials found he had an active warrant, which led to his arrest. A K-9 unit from the Corbin Police Department sniffed around the truck until it reportedly alerted officials on the driver's side. A search of the vehicle revealed meth, heroin, fentanyl, and a rifle. Carr was taken to the Knox County Detention Center for multiple charges. Kentucky Power is facing some backlash after proposing an 18.3% rate increase. The Public Service Commission hosted its second of 4 meetings to hear concerns from customers last night in Hazard. WYMT's Madison Carmouche has more.
Somebody's going to have to pay for it, and it's coming to us. We can't take and stand no more.
The Public Service Commission listened to concerns about Kentucky Power's possible 18.3% rate increase.
There is a floor at which the commission can set rates, and those rates must enable the utility to provide adequate service, invest in their system, and have adequate money for repairs, etc.
The Public Service Commission says that in order for the rate increase to be approved, the company has to prove it is fair, just, and reasonable.
I just want to ask, how is that just, how is that fair, and how is that even reasonable that I, as a retired person on a limited income, am getting a cost of living increase of 3%, and my utilities are going up 18%.
Housing Development Alliance Executive Director Scott McReynolds gave some insight on why this increase could hurt many people in the area.
1 in 6 households live on less than $10,000 a year income. A full 42% of our households live on less than $25,000 a year.
Kentucky Power says part of the rate increase stems from the cost of repairs and damages following recent natural disasters.
And to ask at this point in time for those people to pay 1 penny more after a 1,000-year flood event that they will be dealing with for the next several years at least, not just a few months after, is disgraceful at best.
Many people who spoke say they can simply not afford the increase if they want to continue living in the region. In Hazard, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
The next meeting will be November 16th in Frankfort with a virtual option available. For more information, find this story on our website or news app. When Louisville first responders got the call that an 11-story building had collapsed onto 2 people in eastern Kentucky, they immediately responded. David Ochoa talked to them about the experience.
As families slept after a night of trick-or-treating on Halloween, a call came into Louisville Fire at 1:30 in the morning.
Our operations chief called the captain, and all we heard was, "Yes, sir." So we all kind of piped down. It's like, this got to be pretty serious. And then he got off the phone and he said there was a structural collapse in eastern Kentucky. How many of you can go?
They, along with Anchorage Middletown Fire and EMS, packed up and made the hours-long trip to the other side of the Commonwealth. Once the crews got there, they saw the seriousness of the situation. 2 coal miners trapped under thousands of tons of concrete and steel.
When you leave and you drive past an 11-story building, imagine all of that stuff, everything that's inside of that building, suddenly on the ground on top of 2 people.
It's easy to feel small whenever you're near a high-rise that's still standing, but you feel really, really small whenever that, multi-story structure is compressed down on itself and you're standing saying, I have to squeeze into that.
There was limited access to the site. They had to park a quarter of a mile away, but their training prepared them for this.
Our rescue guys, this is their bread and butter. This is what they do day in and day out, training for this type of stuff. But it was almost like the Super Bowl of that. That's probably a once-in-a-career event, that magnitude.
Loud noises, dark. It was a coal mine, so it's really dusty in the air. You think that baby wipes will get your hands clean. That's not the case at all. There's a couple different showers and gas station bathrooms to help get things clean enough.
The crews were there for 4 days, working around the clock with agencies from all over the state. But despite the coordinated effort, the 2 men trapped died. But that didn't mean the job was over.
Would we have loved to rescue those 2 gentlemen? We would have. But we also want to make sure that those families have closure. They were able to see their loved ones one more time and be able to have peace with them again.
I don't think there's anybody that was there over the course of that 3 or 4 days that would have chosen to have been anywhere else.
Lawyers for Kim Davis are asking a judge to lower how much she might have to pay in attorney's fees. The former Rowan County clerk was found to have violated the constitutional rights of 2 couples she denied marriage licenses back in 2015. Attorneys for one of those couples wants Davis to pay $260,000 in fees for the 8-year legal battle. Davis's attorneys want that reduced to $120,000. Whatever she ends up having to pay will be on top of the $100,000 a jury awarded in damages to that couple. Prestonsburg's mayor has decided to run for a higher office. Les Stapleton filed to run for state senate as he looks to take the next step in his political career. On social media, Stapleton mentioned he is running for the state senate seat in the 29th district. The district covers parts of Floyd, Knott, Harlan, Bell, and Letcher counties. The election for the seat will take place next year. A special gift for a Kentucky native and country music singer. Dylan Carmichael is from Bergen. He now lives in Nashville and recently performed at the Black Gold Festival in Hazard. He's a future Farmers of America or FFA alum and lost his jacket under a tragic circumstance. But during the '96 National FFA Convention and Expo where he performed, Dylan was surprised with a replica FFA jacket by National FFA Central Region Vice President Karsten Cantrell. The FFA says this was a moment immediately filled with emotion as Dylan shared just how much the replica jacket meant to him and how FFA has shaped his life and led to where he is today. The Appalachian Arts Alliance is hosting a trivia night for adults 21 and older on Saturday in downtown Hazard. The event is to raise money for the operations of the Appalachian Arts Alliance. Trivia night will be held at the North Fork Inn and include food, drinks, and fun. If people are interested, they can sign up as a team or an individual. Executive Director Tim Deaton says they try to find creative ways to raise money while bringing the community together.
You know, there's a lot of exciting progress that's happened in our town here lately, and a lot of people are instrumental in making that happen. And so this provides another opportunity for people to get together, to celebrate the community, and to also raise funds for a good cause.
The trivia night will begin at 6 p.m. on Saturday. Team sign up is $75, and single participants will have to pay a $5 cover to enter.
Scanning the skies here at 6:10 on this Friday morning, and we see that there is some green out there, but not enough. We're looking at some light rain, some heavier pockets of rain. Still rain, but again, it's going to be gone before you know it, probably about early this afternoon. So enjoy it while it lasts, because we desperately have needed that, and hopefully that'll give our hardworking firefighters a break there for the last little bit. Going over to our furthest camera in the eastern counties at Jenkins, you can see some wet roads out there this morning and some light rain. Temperatures across the region still falling there, where they'll fall into the mid-40s for pretty much everybody by later this morning. But again, I think we start to rebound a little bit later today. As we look ahead, rain chances continue through late this morning, early this afternoon, but we'll have a cooler Veterans Day weekend ahead before we see some warmer air come into play early next week. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Brandon, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up this week, trace amounts of fentanyl were mailed to election offices in at least 5 U.S. states, causing some federal authorities to call this domestic terrorism.